everybody, welcome back to BnB Anime. I am Blue, that is Brad, and I am back, bitches!
Yep, she back. Also, she would have been back last week, but that recording is gone forever. We had to burn it.
I'm so mad about it because it was such a good recording. We had such banter, much stories, great fun.
Yeah, we got to hear Blue being petty, but also the episode had to get censored because Blue was so petty that we had to censor so much that the episode just imploded.
Yeah, it did. I was just cruel the whole time and rude and mean, and the internet was just like, I'm sorry, this is too much.
Yeah, this does not go with our terms and conditions, so you are bye-bye.
Yeah, you need to take a chill pill this week. No, I'm just kidding. What happened was either I had a spider that decided to take revenge for the amount of spiders that I have put outside. I don't kill spiders, I put them outside, but I guess they're like, nah, it's too cold. How dare you put them outside? I'm going to take revenge and destroy your computer. Or my computer was deciding to be a complete diva, and when one of my screens disconnected, both my mouse and keyboard stopped working, and the episode decided to just not.
Just decided to just not.
Yeah. So I plugged my screen back in and cleaned out the cobweb, and everything's fine now.
Sometimes all it needs is a good turning off and back on, and that solves everything.
Yes, yeah. Also, big updates are happening with Windows computers right now.
Uh-huh.
Have you got your notification for Windows 11?
I have not.
I have on both my laptop and this computer. I have yet to update either of them, though.
Yeah, I don't know if I am. I don't know when I'm going to. I don't know what is going to stop me from doing it.
Yeah. I always get very nervous when new big additions happen.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way because, shit's not going to work right. There's always going to be some sort of issues. Also, Microsoft and Apple suck whenever it comes to new shit that's going to cause issues at some point down the line.
Yes. Yeah. There's always bugs.
Always bugs, always issues. And also, there's going to be some new way for them to try to squeeze money out of us. So, fuck them.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm too poor. It's Christmas season. I have to buy for a girlfriend this year.
Yep, and I'm a student, so...
So we're both screwed.
Yeah, I think I could just leave that there. Just am student.
Also, to all the American people, happy Thanksgiving this week. Because our Thanksgiving is in a few days, so happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've already had yours. You had yours like a month ago.
Yeah, which is also something that's all very strange to me because it doesn't exist in anywhere else in the world. I think it's a purely North American thing. And after all of these years, it's still something that we don't even really celebrate.
Yep.
So, also, not entirely sure how I feel about celebrating it morally, considering it's celebrating a genocide of a race.
But it is like most other American traditions of, it is not about the genocide, it is about the capitalism of making money off of very expensive birds. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but turkey prices this year are out fucking rageous.
My dad gets a free turkey with his work. And the other year, one of my parents also won a turkey. And so the one that my dad gets, he always just puts straight in the food bank because 2 of my family of 4 are vegetarian, so we're not going to go through a turkey.
Mm-hmm.
And then he I think he won a second one. So the food bank had 2 turkeys from us last year.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah. Also, turkeys are more of we don't have Thanksgiving in the UK, but we have turkeys much more over Christmas, whereas North Americans have ham over Christmas, right?
So turkey is primarily a Thanksgiving thing, whereas Christmas is more of you might have turkey, but typically it is ham. Although after talking to our Welsh friend, I have come to the determination that it's very turkey for Christmas over in the UK.
Yeah, that's what you don't have Thanksgiving, so if you're going to have a turkey dinner, it's Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what I always had growing up. I used to have 3 turkeys over Christmas because I'd have one at my maternal grandparents, and then one at home, and then one at my paternal grandparents. So for 3 days for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day. We would have 3 Christmas dinners. Also, you don't have Boxing Day in the States.
Nope. Although I like to think Boxing Day is literally just people go outside with some gloves on and beat the shit out of one another.
I feel like it's boxing as in boxing up all of your Christmas decorations because it's over now. But also, that's another thing in America is that you tend to keep your Christmas decorations up until, like, August.
It depends on the people. Now,
Yeah.
if it were up to my girlfriend, she would leave her shit up year round.
Yeah.
But I'm also the kind of person to where it's like, I don't like to put up decorations because then I have to take them down.
Yeah.
So that's why my recording setup has had Christmas lights on it basically ever since I put my PC together. Because these lights either stay up or if they come down, they're never going back up.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between fairy lights and Christmas lights, right? Because I have fairy lights around my bed, but they are arguably Christmas lights.
Well, you see, mine are legit Christmas lights. I bought
colorful.
them at Christmas. They are colorful. And also, I have color-changing LED light bulbs in my lamp and my actual overhead lights.
Yeah.
So my entire office is colorful.
I would also argue that the difference between fairy lights and Christmas lights are whether or not the cable is green.
Cable is definitely green.
Then those are most definitely Christmas lights.
Yeah, I would say I see fairy lights as the white cabled ones.
Yes.
And typically they're just white. They're not actually colored.
Yeah. See, I have in the middle because I have black cabled ones that are yellow, not white.
Oh, so you're very Halloween-esque.
Could be, yeah.
Either that or very Batman.
I will also take Batman.
Let's hear it. Let's hear the voice. Be Batman.
Oh, Lord. I'm Batman.
Brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, works fantastically well.
Right?
For someone who definitely doesn't have even probably an alto voice range.
I'm Batman.
Like, oh, Batman. That's the deepest I can do.
I'm clipping that. That's going to be used at some point down the road.
Yeah, no, absolutely do not have a deep voice whatsoever.
So, on the note of voices, do you want to hear something?
Yeah.
So, at church this morning, I got to do something that was very, very out of my wheelhouse for any sort of voiceover work. So, I got to do live commentary voiceover on the Christmas film for church.
Okay.
Like, we watched the trailer beforehand, and I was just doing my movie announcer voice, just making fun of it.
Yeah.
And I get handed a microphone, and they're like, you get to do that live. As we're going through service whenever we're doing the film. And I'm like,
Terrifying.
Yeah, like just one of those stereotypical, like, anime trembling moments. Yeah. Like, I'm sitting there just trembling, like, I don't want to.
I don't want to. Do I have to?
I did it. It was fine. It was fun. Everybody loved it. So, we out here. We gaming.
Fab. Brilliant.
Yeah. So that was fun. That's it. That's about the most exciting that my week has been.
Nice. I have had a very busy week. I have quite a few big school projects all happening at the same time because it is the end of module 3, which I feel like is like the biggest apart from final module. You know what I mean? It's like it's a chunky module. And of all of my classes are all ending either last week or this week. So I've had a very busy week doing that. I have one painting that I have to finish up that is a hefty size, and I didn't actually get started on it until quite late because I didn't have a canvas of that size, so I had to go out and buy a canvas, and that's been like stressful. It's very out of your comfort zone because I have to use opposing colors on the color wheel to create a painting, and I'm only allowed to use those colors and black and white to darken them. And I chose to do red and green, but not like central red and green. I'm doing the tealy green and the orangey red, so they're like the one next to each other, you know?
Oh, interesting.
So it's, yeah, in between the blue and the yellow, and then the, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I have an art history paper due that is terrifying because I'm not good at writing. I don't do words. I'm in the painting and drawing program for a reason. But yeah, I have that due. And then my drawing class, I have a big module due as well. We recently just did gesture drawings, which was fun. It was like, because gesture is like, it is an art form, but it's also a action. So it's like a gesture, as in like a drinking or signaling something, smiling, that kind of thing, gesture. But also a gesture drawing is a like actual style of drawing. So it's that like very rough sketch that you see where you don't erase anything, you just like draw it out.
Mm-hmm.
That is considered to be a gesture drawing. So we had to do a gesture drawing of a gesture. Well, several of them for different topics. So that was a thing.
Now say that 5 times fast.
Honestly. And we were supposed to be working with live models, and we would have been if it hadn't been for COVID. So yeah, we had to go off of videos instead, which I think gave a different atmosphere. But my professor is super cool and has said that next semester, when we have permission to get live models in, he is going to invite this class to join next semester's class on their live model session. So we have the chance to do it, even though it won't be graded. It'll just be like a practicing for us. But because it's something that we can't do, he's like, yeah, you can come and join in with next semester's class. And he's paying for it himself out of pocket. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, super cool thing for our professor to do. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, good on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's chosen his personal favorite model. So yeah, I'm gonna be looking at some naked people at some point.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, so I'm excited to do that.
I bet.
Yeah, I spent most of this morning and quite a bit of this afternoon sitting in a little cafe just up the road from where I live that I have been to once before, where I met with a friend, and then to vent. We weren't going to do homework. I've met with this person before, and we went and we were saying, oh yeah, we'll meet up and study together, and then no studying happened because we just talked the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And then this time we met up to vent because we were both stressed about work, and so we were just like, we're gonna go grab a coffee and we're just gonna like get all of our angst out of our system about schoolwork. And that was a good time. We had a good time doing that.
It's because it sounds like it'd be a good time.
Yeah, it was fun.
Always good to vent and get it out.
100%. And I feel like sometimes you just need to meet up with someone who kind of gets what you're feeling and just like rag on it the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So that was very cathartic. But yeah, today I went back to that little place and I sat in the cafe for like 3 hours doing a schoolwork, and I hadn't really intended to stay that long. I'd kind of gone thinking, oh, I'll probably be there about an hour and a half maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just kept sitting there, and then the lady came up and was like, you want another drink? And I'm like, yes, please. And then of course you end up staying there for much longer. So I had 2 cappuccinos, and I had a pastry that was spinach and feta cheese, and they warmed it up and they make it fresh in the little bakery section of it. It was really nice. Yeah, it was great. And then I had a little they called it a dumpling, but it's not from like Asian culture or British culture. It's from like Eastern European dumplings. I don't know. It's like a deep fried, almost sweet, crispy pastry with like mushrooms and spinach and peppers in the middle and onions. And it was really nice. It wasn't like something I've ever had before, but I really enjoyed it.
Well, that's good. I had Starbucks' pumpkin bread for the first time yesterday. Yeah, that was yesterday.
Are you a pumpkin person?
No.
Me either.
But it was actually good. I was surprised. It really wasn't bad, especially toasted is good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I never got into like the pumpkin spice stuff. Or the only thing that I've had that I've enjoyed is pumpkin and cream cheese muffins.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really like cream cheese. So I think that like they complement each other quite well.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I've had that I like. But I know a lot of people that are like, oh, I love pumpkin just to eat pumpkin. Like, I'll put it in a vegetable stew, or I'll put it, like, have pumpkin bread, or I'll have pumpkin soup. And I'm absolutely not one of those people.
Yeah, I also couldn't be that person that just, not for me. Not today. Not ever.
No. Yeah. So that's us.
Yep, that's it. That's been the week.
That's the episode. Goodbye.
Yep, bye-bye. We don't have a topic. No, speaking of, we haven't even told what the topic is.
No, we haven't.
For this week, mainly because we didn't decide on this shit until yesterday.
Yes, yeah. It's been a week. Very busy. So, yeah, it was a movie this week. But we kind of gave you that warning last week. Well, we did in the original recording. And then the original recording went to shit. So
I don't even remember if I said anything about it.
No.
I don't remember. It's been a week.
Yeah. But you found this movie, so why don't you tell us about it?
So we have the absolutely lovely title of the film that I can totally think of, because I am in excellent shape to do this.
Yeah, words bubble up like soda pop.
It is a film that debuted in Japan on the same day in theaters as it debuted in Netflix, or on Netflix, subbed and dubbed in the US.
Yes.
I have background info somewhere in my phone. Hold up.
Yeah, well, I can tell you that it is rated a PG-13, and something that I found very interesting about this film is that the lead voice actor for our main character, Cherry, was born in 2005, so he is younger, or around the exact same age as the character in the show.
That is very interesting.
Yeah, and his co-star, who voices the female lead, Smile, in the show, she was born in 1997, so she is my age.
Yeah, she is your age.
My age. But I thought that was very interesting.
That is very interesting, actually. Like, it's cool to see people that young kind of breaking into the industry, and also breaking into the industry with a big film.
Yeah. I actually don't know if he's done any work before. His name is Ichikawa Somegoru. I think. Apologize if I said that wrong. And honestly, it looks like his only film that he's done is this one. It seems to be its breakout role. So
the director, it was his breakout role, but in film, the director, Kyohei Ishiguro, has actually done something else before this in the television show industry of anime. And it holds a very, very special place near and dear to my heart.
I get it. Know where you're going with this.
Do you?
I think so.
Do you know exactly where I'm going?
I believe so. This
is the director that did Your Lie in April.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Oh, it made me so happy to find that out. And what's interesting about this film is that it is not based off of a manga, but a manga adaptation came out after the film was in production.
Interesting. So not after the film was released, but while it was still in production.
So the manga adaptation of the film started serialization in November 27th of 2019 and finished on March 27th of this year of 2021. So it kind of pulled like a Your Name type situation, and the manga started afterwards.
Yeah.
But I would be very curious to look at the manga and kind of see how it's stylized, because I loved the presentation of this film.
It's a very bright, colorful film, almost in a way kind of the exact opposite of Your Lie in April, funnily enough, because this is using very saturated colors, even in just like the lighting in buildings, in details around it. It's very, very saturated. And I will also say that it is nowhere near as emotionally draining as Your Lie in April. So
no, definitely not. There was a bit at the end where I thought about crying. Then I was like, no,
Yeah,
no, not there.
I also did not shed tears. I don't even think I got close to that point. It was definitely a heartwarming kind of moment where you get like those squishy feels, but I wouldn't say that it took it any further than that. And it definitely does have a tone of like sympathy. You do feel kind of sympathetic towards a couple of the characters, but I wouldn't say that. And I mean, maybe unless you have a personal connection to the situation that the characters are going through, then it might be more of an emotional tug on the heartstrings. But for me personally, it was just like, oh, you know, I feel things for you, but that's where I kind of leave it.
But also incredibly easy watch.
Very easy watch, yeah.
Like I feel like I could watch this again and just have a great time, like so short after watching it, just because I feel like it just kind of flew by.
Yeah, it's a very comfy show. It's the kind of thing that I would recommend to watch when you're feeling sick, to be honest. It feels like you don't really have to pay attention to it because the story is very simple. You can probably you can get up and go to the bathroom and leave it playing and come back and sit down and you'll know where you are, you know? Yeah, I feel like it's a very relaxing, easy watch.
Yeah, sit down, bundle up, get some good soup.
Good soup.
And just have a good time.
Yeah. Have you done all your background?
So it was produced by
someone.
Flying
Dog.
Sublimation. Flying Dog was, I think, the one that kind of like created it, but it wasn't the actual studios that made it. So the studios that kind of co-produced it was Sublimation and Signal MD. Sublimation is kind of most well known for the work they've done on Dragon's Dogma on Netflix, and then Signal MD has done the absolutely wonderful show called Recovery of an MMO Junkie, which for those of us that are rom-com fans and also know about MMOs and want a really good comfy laugh, that's a good one to go with. But also most notably, as far as in recent history, Platinum End, which kind of took the anime world by storm this year.
I just had a quick look at things that Flying Dog has done because I was intrigued. And we have Are You Lost and Arte on here, which we have both covered.
I was going to say, it sounded familiar.
And also Bamboo Blade, which is an anime that I have dropped, funnily enough. I don't think I dropped it because it was bad. I dropped it because I stopped watching it for one reason or another. I got interested in something else and never went back to it because I don't think it pulled me enough ADHD-wise. But it is an anime about a group of girls who play kendo in school. And I remember enjoying it. I just don't think it grabbed my attention enough to keep me interested.
I feel like you've told me about that one. So, makes sense. I can see it.
Yeah. So, with that, I will say that it is 1 hour and 27 minutes long. It is rated a PG-13, which I feel like is a high rating.
Yeah, I don't think it necessarily deserves that rating. Like, I could see it being PG. Is it just because it has beer? I swear to God, if it's just because it has beer.
I'm trying to think if there's any language in it that makes it a PG-13, but I cannot remember there being, like, swears in there, but that might just be because I don't pay attention to whether or not there's swears, you know? It's centered around teenagers, so I could see them just kind of, like, slipping, like, damn and hell and I don't know, like some of the more like mid-tone in, and I could see in that case like I haven't just paid attention to them, but other than that I don't see why it would be a PG-13.
No, it doesn't make any sense to me either. So yeah, interesting rating.
Yeah, so again, I will say that if you are a parent and you are curious about whether or not you could show this to your kids, in my opinion, I feel like maybe someone under the age of like 8 wouldn't be able to, like they wouldn't keep up with the story, they wouldn't find it very interesting, because like I said, it's a very like chill story, there's not a lot to keep someone interested, and it's on the longer side as well, being an hour and a half for like kids films. I feel like they're more about an hour's length. So I feel like maybe they might lose interest. But in my personal opinion, I could see this being watched by like quite a young audience. So give it yourself a watch, see what you think as a parent, and yeah, I don't see why it's a PG-13.
Yeah, I don't either.
No. On Anime Planet, it is rated a 3.94 out of 5 or a 7.88 out of 10. And on My Anime List, it is a 7.50 out of 10. So we're looking at that 7.5 range consistently through both of them. It has a dropped rate of 0.65, which is pretty dang good for a film. I feel like that's hitting it right in the average zone, even on the good side of average. It's we have a few films that are in the 0 point range, and this is even on the lower side for the 0 point. So I would, honestly, this has a very good drop rating. I'm just looking at another film. What is this? No, that's what color is films? I've lost films. Films is that color.
Well, I mean, Konosuba, for instance, it had a higher drop rate than normal.
Yeah. Children Who Chase Lost Voices is a 0.8. Spirited Away is a 0.14. I feel like the Ghibli films do so well with the drop rate. They have fantastic drop rates, but then they're also on the shorter side.
Yeah. Well, they typically sit at like an hour and a half as well, but they're Ghibli, so.
Yeah, but then like Rascal Does Not Dream of Dreaming Girl is a 1.18 drop rate.
Well, that's also a very niche audience for a film.
Yeah.
Because again, you could start that film and think you're in for something and then not get what you're expecting.
That's true.
Because I feel like people that were actual fans of Bunny Girl Senpai watched and finished that film. I feel like a lot of that drop rate comes from people that didn't necessarily know what they were getting into. So they were just kind of either turned off by it or just didn't understand a lot of the nuances that the show had kind of created.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, though, I really want to go back and rewatch Bunny Girl Senpai at some point in the near future.
Yeah, actually, I do as well. It's one that I recommend to people. And I haven't seen it in a while. I will say that Oko's Inn is a 1.76, and I Want to Eat Your Pancreas is a 1.52, and this is right in the middle of that. So that gives you a good range.
I Want to Eat Your Pancreas was so good.
Yeah. And this is on Netflix. So American Netflix. If you are in Canada, it's not on our Netflix. Sorry.
So get a VPN. Figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all of our background. So I will give you a general overview of the film, and then we will chuck on those spoiler chicken hats and get into the discussion. So this is a typical boy meets girl story. It's very classic. I would say it's more in the rom than the rom-com, but it's been described as a rom-com. I wouldn't say that there's a lot of com in it.
I feel like there's some com, there's some rom.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's more or less just kind of a coming of age story.
Slice
more
of
than
life.
anything.
Yeah, it's a very chill film. I would say that it is very modern in the way that it is set up. For instance, our main female lead, Smile, is a streamer. So we have a lot of like very new concepts to this, which I very much appreciate. It's nice to see animes that are depicting our current world. I would be curious on that thought to see if there is going to be an anime set in the pandemic at some point.
I could see it.
Yeah, I feel like
I'd say probably in the next couple of years, since I think it takes a couple of years for anime to be produced, unless it's one of the big three.
Yeah, well, I feel like there's probably manga already being written about it, and then or light novels already being worked on about it, because I feel like it's a very easy setting, especially for things like romances. Two people in the same building get it together during lockdown. You know what I mean? Very simple. One of them gets COVID, and then you have a sad bit, and then they're fine at the end, and they're together. Like I feel like it's a very, very simple storyline that you could do a lot with.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And it'd be very relatable considering what we went through, because how many relationships did we see blossom through online means through COVID?
Yeah, 100%. And how many relationships did we see fall apart in the same sense? So, yeah, having to be stuck with your partner in a small space for months on end will really put a relationship to the test.
Honestly, give me an online dating anime set during COVID.
Yeah.
I'd watch it.
I think a lot of people would watch it. I think you'd get a lot of good views.
Especially if you set it in something like Recovery of an MMO Junkie, where it's like in a video game type setting as well.
Yeah.
Mix in some sword art for some full dive. Hell yeah.
Yeah. You have met your girlfriend on RuneScape vibes.
So here is the idea for you, whoever. If you decide to make this, just throw some money our way. Sponsor us.
Hire us for the voice acting.
Yes. I mean, any of those are options. Please just, let us in on it. We got you. Again, we are marketing geniuses here.
Yeah.
We can't flesh anything out, but by God, we can give you ideas.
We got the initial ideas, but after that, we're just shit. But yeah, okay, so it is typical Boy Meets Girl story. Main character, Cherry, our male lead, is someone who does not like loud noises, so he's always wearing his headphones, and it's set during a summer at school, or on school break. And he is working his mom's part-time job at an old folks home, basically. Or like an old folks, I wouldn't say it's old folks home because they go there for the day. It's like old folks daycare, I guess.
But it's in the mall.
Yeah, so it's just like a club that's made for old people. It's
like after school activities, but for the elderly.
Yeah, daycare. That's honestly how it seems
pretty
to
much.
And at the mall, he bumps into our female lead, Smile, who is, as I said before, she is a streamer, and they end up getting knocked over and swapping phones with each other. And this is how our story starts. We have shared insecurities between the two. Each one has an insecurity that the other finds to be, like, helps each other throughout the film. And it's just very sweet. It's also based around haikus, the poems. I will say, I have never been more confused about what a haiku is than after watching this film, because I thought I had it down with just basic syllable counts, and then that all got thrown out the window whilst watching this film, because the way that they were saying that this is a finished haiku was definitely not the amount of syllable counts, even without, like, the subtitles, just in what I was hearing them say. It was like one line of a haiku, and they're like, a finished haiku, and now I'm just confused. So bear that in mind.
Yeah, especially if you watch it subbed, be prepared.
Yeah.
Because it will throw you for a loop. Now, some of them translated to English beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
Others, not so much.
Yes. I do not know about the dub, how they translated. If you watch the dub, please feel free to comment on this podcast or let us know in DMs, because I'm so curious about how they translated, how they sounded, and whether or not they translated them to be like haikus, or if they translated them more literally and then they didn't fit the syllable count.
Fun fact, I watched it both.
Oh, and?
Like I said, some of them turned out beautifully, others not so much.
Okay, well, there you go.
But you can kind of get the gist of it.
Yeah. Okay, so that is our overview. That is all of our background. And yeah, let's jump into it.
Yeah, spoiler chicken hats on.
Put them on. Okay.
So first things first. Fuka, but with reverse gender roles.
Yeah.
Because one was extremely popular on Twitter, and the other one was like, ew, technology.
Yeah. It is very stereotypical in that sense. I feel like it's not a very original film. I feel like the most original part of it is the fact that she's a streamer, so that's quite, like, modern, and that he is specifically interested in poetry, which is something that I don't feel like is often shown, especially for a male lead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very much it's a unique concept built on a stereotypical premise. Yeah,
I feel like the baseline story is very cliche. Boy meets girl, they help each other get over something, both like opposing characters, and slowly fall for each other over time, with a like mildly is what it is ending. Like, it's very, very simple plotline.
But I will say, if they didn't have the confession at the end, I would have been fine with it. Like, I was fine with how it ended regardless.
Yeah.
But they didn't have to go the relationship route, because obviously they got close with one another.
Yeah.
But it could have been like very much a setup of a silent voice where you have the main characters just build a friendship out of the bunch and get extremely close that way. But then you had the confession at the end of this where it's like, oh, okay. I mean, I see it.
Yeah, I feel like it was the confession aspect of it was. I feel like it was it did benefit the story in the sense that Cherry was up until that point known to be very silent and didn't like speaking in front of crowds and everything, so it was kind of his getting over his insecurity moment. But they could have done that in just like, I don't know, a much like a different route, you know?
No, because then it would have gotten drowned out by the fireworks.
Yeah.
So then the film would have been another 30 minutes long, because then the two of them would have separated. Then they would have had to like continue their relationship online. And then, you know, fuck off outside. I'm being very important right now. I'm talking.
I am the most important.
Exactly. This is my podcast. So you leave me alone outside. Okay, thanks. But yeah, so it kind of worked the way that they did it. Because again, they could have dragged the film out another 30 minutes if they didn't do it that way.
Yeah, I feel like that. Yeah, I don't. I feel like it's fine. I feel like I'm gonna spoil it and say that I feel like the 7.5 rating is just like a standard rating for this. I feel like that does the job.
I disagree.
Oh,
I give it a 9.
Really?
Yes.
What for?
It was such an incredible watch. It was so incredibly pretty. The soundtrack was phenomenal.
I agree about the soundtrack.
And it's just like, I really enjoyed the story. It's cliche, I get it. And that's what kind of knocked it a point.
Okay.
But there's nothing that can make me knock it a full 2.5 points.
I feel like the reason why I'm knocking it that to make it a 7.5 is just because I've seen this story before. So it is basically because it's cliche. You substitute in personality traits, like the hobbies, and this has been done 1,000 times. This has been done very well, that being said. It is, like Brad said, very, very beautiful. Soundtrack is fantastic. Voice acting is really, really good job. In the sub, very much thought that they conveyed the emotion, and I could tell the emotion via the voice, even though I didn't understand the language and I had to read the subtitles. I liked the side story of the old man and his record and his wife. I thought that was very cute. I was not emotionally moved throughout this film, and I did pause it halfway through while watching it to have a nap and then start the film again. So I will say that is like, that's a sign for me of like, it wasn't gripping my attention enough to where I postponed my nap.
And again, I feel like a lot of that just comes down to you and I have two like completely conflicting styles on what we prefer. We have very similar tastes in anime and what we enjoy.
Yeah.
But ultimately, as far as like our true preferences and what we get the most out of, that's going to ultimately kind of be the determining factor on what we rate it.
Also, I'm not sure she got over her insecurity about her teeth.
I don't think she got over it, nor do I think that Cherry got over his either.
Yeah.
But they both overcame something there at the end.
Mm.
Because dude was like, oh, hey, you know, regardless, I like you for you. I don't give a shit about your buck teeth. And dude was also getting over his own insecurity. So therefore she was like, okay, I'll pull my mask down.
Yeah.
And boom. So, you know, that little bit at the end, I did kind of think brought it up some. Because again, that final interaction and then the little bits with the credits, like seeing the photos of things that kind of continue a little bit past, and then kind of that ending scene of the record playing with the fireworks going off with the silhouettes. That was cute.
Yeah.
Also, Old Man's Story kind of bumped it up another point.
Yes.
That was adorable. That was so fucking cute.
It was really cute. I think it was really unique how all of the characters were known by their nicknames. And who is it that did the graffiti?
Fuck, what was his name? What did they call him? I don't remember.
It's an animal, isn't it? It's like dog or something.
I don't remember.
Let me see if it's on the wiki. Funnily enough, I don't have it pulled up. Normally I would do. Words. Bubble. That's not how you spell bubble. Like soda pop. Okay. Beaver.
Yep, that's it.
Beaver. That's what it has here. It says character.
Yep. Oh no, it does.
Yeah. So Beaver.
Also like how one was just named Japan.
Fantastic.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Yeah, so Beaver writes all of Cherry's haikus around the city, and just in all of the landscape shots that you get, it's like Where's Wally? You get to find all of the little haikus. I keep saying haiku, and that's because I have that on the brain because we're covering season 4 soon. It's haiku. Yep. Haiku around the landscape, and I think that's really fun. Although you say Where's Waldo? It's a British thing.
Where's Waldo?
Where's Wally? It was created by a Brit in Britain. It's Wally.
No, it's Where's Waldo.
Wrong.
Although I feel like Where's Wally would make more sense here than Waldo, because who the fuck's name is Waldo?
Disney?
No, that's Walt.
Walt. Yeah, it is.
Wally?
Wally is also another...
Wally.
Oh, that's true. Wally is also another name for an idiot.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's like I'll stop being a Wally. It's like a mild insult. Very casual, gentle insult that you would...
Very casual, gentle insult.
Yeah, the kind of thing that you would see, like, a mum call their kid.
Is that what you called the girl that was getting onto you for stepping on the concrete?
No, I probably had some crueler, harsher words at the time. Shall I retell the story? Are we going to do that? Or should we just leave it a mystery for everyone to never know?
Leave it a mystery. Why not?
Okay. It's a story that was on last week's episode that did not exist. So there you go.
Nope, it does not exist. No. That is a story that would not be retold. Editor, leave that out.
Okay, well, you never know. Maybe it'll be retold after we've forgotten that it got deleted.
Yeah. Or, we'll bring it up at some point. Like, I'll passively mention it again, like I did there. I could have left that alone, but I did that on purpose.
Yeah, well, I have another story for you. A fresh off the boat story on a similar vein.
Okay.
Yeah.
More petty stories. I like it.
When I was in, I think it was my first year of middle school in Canada, I was on the playground waiting for my school bus to come. And there was this girl who I didn't really know, to be honest. We never really ran in the same circles, but for some reason we were arguing, and I don't remember about what, but we were arguing, but it wasn't like, I don't know, I was just really annoyed at her. That's all I remember, is feeling this great frustration towards her. And I think probably what it was is that we were having a conversation, had a difference of opinion, and most likely one of us was getting very insistent on our opinion, and I got to the point where I just tried to walk away, because that's what I do before I blow up. I tend to just be the person to just, like, mid-conversation will just dip. And I think, if I remember correctly, she followed me. So I remember turning around and saying, "Oh, bog off!" And then she just goes, "What does that mean?" And it just took the wind out of my sail, and I just deflated. I was like, how do you... Like, I want you to go away, but my way of saying go away just didn't work. And now you're still here. And I have to explain to you that I need you to leave, or, like, leave me alone. And it is not working. And I just remember just, like, completely deflating and just having one of those moments of just, like, I'm her. I need a nap. Like,
that's brilliant.
Yeah,
I love it.
And I still remember it to this day. I think it's probably one of the strongest emotions that I've had, of just sheer just depression in an instant, of just like, fuck's sakes.
I love it.
Yeah. I don't even know what it was about. I don't even remember her name. I kind of remember what she looks like vaguely. And I just remember being so frustrated because my way of communicating was not efficient.
That's okay. Now that we're adults, we just tell people to fuck off and go about our lives.
Mm-hmm. Well, I remember, that's the thing, is I remember saying fuck off in my head and then going, I can't say that out loud. So then my next thought was bog off. So that's what I verbalized, because I'd already dialed it back once at that point.
I love it.
Yeah. Anyway, still makes me angry. Yeah, okay, so more about the film, I guess. So, basic plotline starts with them meeting in the mall. They bump into each other because of Beaver, swap phones. She goes home. I like her sisters. Her sisters are fun. They are good additions to the story, and I think they barely have any lines. But they're also very memorable characters, even without their lines.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they have very establishing personality traits.
Yeah, and they kind of help push the plot along.
Yeah.
Even as little as they are, because they kind of push Smile out of her comfort zone.
Yeah, they're a very good support system for her, and an almost silent support system in the fact that they're just background characters, but it's like they are, I don't know, it's just like a comfort blanket for her, and it helps flesh out her character more, and I feel like they were just a solid addition to the story.
Agreed.
So she then uses her sister to find her phone. They then meet up, or they call each other, and this is when the two friend groups meet, and meet up at the mall and swap phones back again. And then it's just about Smile kind of fleshing out Cherry, who didn't really initially ever do anything to interact with her. To start with, it's mainly her pursuing him. Not even necessarily in a romantic sense. She's just curious about him because he is so different than her. And she sees him working at the old folks' daycare. She sees him reading a haiku, which that was the haiku that first got me confused about what a haiku is, because I swear that was just one line and they presented it like a finished haiku.
I think it's because as long as a haiku technically has 5 syllables, 7 syllables, and then 5 syllables, it kind of doesn't matter. Which, again, didn't. I felt like their version of a haiku doesn't, or at least in the film, it's very confusing as far as syllable usage.
Well, that's where I was confused about, because to me, if I can remember correctly, I didn't go back and count it, but it was one line what he said, so it sounded like just the first line of a haiku, just the first 5 syllables, because it was just one section. So I don't know if the way that haikus are written in kanji makes a difference, and then we've just translated that to just purely syllable count for English. I don't know, but I remember this being the one where I was like, that's, as far as my understanding, not a haiku. That's just a line. But I don't know if I'm I just don't understand haikus properly. That's probably the point.
Well, again, to my knowledge as an American that studied English, I don't fucking get it. Anyway, a haiku is... fuck, now you've got me doing it. A haiku is a poem that just consists of 17 syllables.
Yeah.
575.
Yeah.
So if it's all one line, which in English I feel like would be almost impossible to achieve, just because of sentence structure, you'd have to have a weird run-on sentence to be able to achieve something like that. However, I feel like in Japanese, from the way their words are made up, I feel like it would be a lot easier to achieve that with one line, because Yamazakura is 5 syllables as it is.
Yeah.
As far as the ending haiku goes.
Yeah, so I wonder if it has something to do with the characters when written in hiragana.
Maybe.
Because obviously kanji can sometimes be multiple hiragana, a kanji can be a full word.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's something to do with the hiragana. I don't know. That's the thing, is when I was watching it, there were moments where I was confused about what a haiku was. And I was like, did I get the syllable count wrong? Is it 353? But I was like, no, I'm fairly certain it's 575. But yeah, I'm not sure. So
yeah, I'm not sure either. But again, I also didn't take the time to count syllables.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Did I count that wrong? Because I read somewhere in one of the comments that the actual title of the film itself is a haiku. But I've got the characters pulled up on Wikipedia, and I think there's only 16. But I may have counted it wrong because I don't know how to count.
Well, not only that, but it's like you said, kanji could consist of multiple sets of hiragana.
Yeah.
So one of those could be doubled up as well.
Yeah. I don't know though. So let us know if you know what a haiku is, because I'm confused.
Debate about it in the comments. Go.
Yes. Okay. So from here we have them like meeting and talking and getting to know each other. We do have very early on established there's this festival going on at the end of summer, a Hanabi or firework festival, and then we also know that Cherry is moving, and that is very early established on in the film, which I think is a very good thing for the film. I have watched a few films where it feels like something happens very quickly at the end and it's a big plot twist, and it kind of feels like they forgot how to wrap up a film, so they added in a thing real quick. This case, it's very early on established, and that leads to emotions of just tell her throughout the film.
Yeah, it's like almost a sense of panic.
Yeah.
Because as the days tick on and as the events unfold, like with them cleaning up the record shop, I'm like, when the fuck are you going to tell her? But then I'm also like, one of two things is going to happen. One, they're going to find out the day before, and then they're going to be sad, and then they're going to have the, typical ending that we got of the confession and the fireworks and all that kind of fun stuff. Or it's going to happen the day of, and then, like I said, they turn the film into like an extra 30 minutes of them being separated and then having an online relationship and then eventually meeting up.
Yeah.
I feel like I have that kind of mentality thanks to a other individual, the Makoto Shinkai that likes to tear my heartstrings apart with Your Name and Weathering with You.
Yep.
So I feel like that's what kind of gave me that sense of impending, okay, they're going to drag this out, but no.
Yeah,
Also, old man didn't die.
No,
thank God.
Didn't. Yeah, I know for sure both Brad and I, when going into this film, were sitting on the edge of our seats to figure out whether or not we were going to be emotionally destroyed or not, because of the relationship that this film has to creators that have done very emotionally draining productions.
Yeah, this director fucked me up in a past life.
Yes.
I say a past life, the part of me that died whenever I got back into anime and became full-blown weeb.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, I know that we were both like hanging on the edge of our seat. This film was a very comfy watch. It definitely did not do that, although it had a lot of potential to do that, because I feel like it wouldn't have taken much to have just have him jump in the car and never see her again, and then leave on silence because he was too anxious to actually go through with telling her, and then she finds out after he's moved. And then also Old Man could have died, and if they had done that, I feel like it could have been a very, like, especially if the Old Man had died before hearing, like, after she breaks the record and before they find the new one on the clock. If Old Man had died in between that, and then they had played the record at his funeral, that would have been
Don't
so
even
depressing.
get me started on that. Like, I'm hurting thinking about that. The story that could have been told.
Yeah.
Director, recreate Your Lie in April with this premise, just in a TV show.
Yeah.
Break me, destroy me. Please, you do good work.
Yeah, but I feel like they could have gone that route very, very easily, and it would have been a whole different emotional experience. I also feel like, because I don't know about you, Brad, but I got very attached to Beaver as a character. If they had killed him off somehow, car accident or whatever, like hit by the truck, isekai'd him, I feel like that would have done great emotional damage to me, because he is just such a lovable character.
He is a great character. I would have cried more if they'd have killed off the Old Man or one of our two main characters. But I don't know. Anime has fucked me up to the point where I go into films, especially, expecting the worst.
Yeah. This is a very tame film compared to most anime films. What else? Oh yeah, so I guess we could talk about Old Man's plotline. So he has dementia, or
I feel like he's just Like, ever since his wife passed away, he's just become very reclusive.
Mm-hmm.
But he loves his haiku.
Mm-hmm.
Like, old man speaks in haiku.
Yes.
Which is a very interesting quirk, and I can appreciate that.
My hero.
Oh my goodness, he is part of the universe.
He is.
Because have you seen Manga Panel, dude, from My Hero?
Yes.
Yeah, so he's basically him,
Yeah.
just haiku version.
Haiku dude. Yeah, so he has this record that is the voice of his wife, who passed away shortly after her daughter was born, who is now an adult and has a kid of her own, and who is grown. And he holds onto the sleeve of the record and walks around the mall trying to find the record that goes in the sleeve. And they go through this whole plot line trying to find the record. They end up finding it down the side of a fridge after Cherry gets the idea when he's packing all this stuff for moving. And the record is warped. So Smile goes to press on it to try and correct it. But it's not like... records are made out of two different... Like, there's vinyl records, but before vinyl records, there was like a fragile one, and they used to shatter all the time. I can't remember what they were made out of. But
and even the vinyl can shatter, kind of depending on the circumstances. You know what I expected?
What?
I expected her to try to, like, flatten it out and then press out the creases to where it got rid of the music.
Oh.
Because vinyls aren't meant to be laid flat. They're not meant to have any weight on it.
No.
So I expected them, like, for her to press on it and then it press out the grooves. And then they put it on the thing and it's all just a bunch of broken music because she fucked it up. But no, she broke it.
Yeah, she shattered it. And then eventually they find another one in a clock. It had been turned into a clock, which I think was a very, like, it's kind of one of those things where it's a bit of Where's Wally again throughout the film. And it was something that they did absolutely foreshadow. And I picked up on it. I don't feel like it's very subtle foreshadowing, though. I feel like most people would pick up on it.
Well, because you also see that very same image on fireworks posters, especially the very first fireworks poster, because it goes through like a lineage of them. So they kind of hinted at it, and it was very kind of blatant in a way. Yeah.
And that's how he eventually gets to listen to it, which makes perfect sense to me because it wouldn't have been as warped in a well-ventilated, well-taken care of room as opposed to down the side of a fridge. Makes sense? Yeah, I don't know. I thought that when we finally did get to hear the music, it was very fitting. I thought the song was a great representation of what we saw. It was kind of more retro in style, but it did keep up with the more modern version of the film as well, the theme of the film. I didn't feel like it was out of place.
No, definitely not. And also, it was seeing the old man's face whenever he realized what it was that almost made me cry.
Yes.
Like, I felt the tears just well up to my eyes, and then it was gone. And I was like, oh, this is sweet. I like this.
Yeah, it does give you warm fuzzies. What else?
And this is where we got to the point where we discussed, like, the confession and our thoughts on all that, and then that is how said film ends.
Yeah!
So, like I said, solid 9
for
me. Again, I am the, like, rom-com guru of the group. Don't get me wrong on that one. But at the same time, like I said, it took a very cliche kind of concept and gave it its own kind of unique twist. And typically with rom-com or just romance films, they can kind of drag on and they're very tropey. This one was not that.
Yeah, and I also will say that there was a moment in the film that I want to take my hat off to give credits to, and that is Cherry just being emotionally overwhelmed after he tells Smile that he's moving, and she is, like, dismissive of it and upset because obviously she just found out and she's not happy about it, and he breaks down and cries. I felt that was a good addition to the film, showing a young man crying in a situation that isn't like death, which is normally where we get those tears from, is very extreme situations. This was just much more of him being very overwhelmed.
Also, any other film, she would have turned around and comforted him.
Yeah, because I would have been pissed too and probably would have left because he promised her a date and then he's not even going to be there for the date. And then and she's fallen for him and didn't even know that he was going to move, and then all of a sudden he tells her that, well, she finds out. He doesn't even tell her. She finds out through other means that he's moving. And yeah, I definitely understand why she just needed to walk away in that situation.
But here's the thing. He never promised. Like, he was
said, let's
going
go, though.
to...
He ran away and said, let's go, which could have been interpreted as let's go in the store. But it also, she interpreted it as let's go to the fireworks.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the dub, it very much came across as, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of like that she walked away. It made me feel like she was a pretty strong, like, character in that sense. She had her own personality.
Oh, no. Trust me, I'm not bashing what happened by any means, because I honestly appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because again, that's why I'm saying, like, any other film would have come rushing back, but instead she kept walking away. And I felt like that kind of made it all the more heart-wrenching with him crying.
Yeah.
Because again, like, this dude is on his knees in the middle of a field, just bawling his eyes out, and you just see her walking into the sunset.
Yep. Well, yeah, I don't know.
It was just what shit.
It was a good moment because it's not her job to mother him, and he needed to come to his own terms. And I liked it. It's good.
It was good.
Yes.
Good soup.
Good soup. Also, I like the age range for it. Both characters are only a year different from each other in school. Sometimes that is not the situation in anime. So when it happens and they're both the same age, I like to give them credit.
Yeah.
Comfy relationships. Yay.
Comfy.
It's not creepy.
So yeah, good on you, anime.
Yeah.
Solid 9 out of 10.
Solid 7.5 out of 10 because I'm a boring plebeian and I go with the same as everybody else.
I feel like you just have a tendency to shit on my rom-coms.
I will fully admit I am biased when it comes to rom-coms. They are not my preferred viewing point. Also, I'm confused about the rating, and I mean, that doesn't change my score, but I'm confused about the rating. Why is it a PG-13?
But you can't dock points because of a rating.
I didn't. I'm just curious about it.
You can't do that.
I did.
But I, too, am very curious about it. It doesn't make sense at all.
Why is it?
Like, is it just a translation thing?
I don't know.
I'm very confused. PG-13 does not make a lick of sense.
No, I don't. Should I Google what the definition, what makes things a PG-13? Amateur. What makes a film PG-13? This rating is a stronger caution for parents that content included may not be appropriate for children under 13. Yeah, I know that. May include stronger language, extended violence, or sexual situations and drug use.
None of the three.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just an error somewhere along the way.
I don't think it's an error. It just can be violent, but not gratuitous. Hints of sexuality.
Also not that. What
do they classify as a hint of sexuality, though? Realism, intensity, or persistence of the film's violence. Use of profanity. Oh, I got a text. Use of profanity, especially sexually derived words. I can read. Depiction of tobacco or drug use. Oh, was there anybody smoking?
Not that I recall.
And then nudity or sexual content.
Like I said, the only thing I can think of is perhaps whenever the dad grabbed a beer.
Honestly, yeah, that might be it. Just the beer, perhaps there's somebody in the background smoking. Maybe some mild swear words, especially when, like, Beaver is getting chased out of the mall for being graffiti.
For being Beaver?
Yeah. Maybe that's it. Maybe it was the fact that he was vandalizing, which is technically illegal.
And also stole stuff. Like, that entire rooftop was full of stuff that he stole, so maybe?
Yeah, it could be illegal activity, which isn't listed in the description of PG-13, but that would make sense.
Yeah, I don't know. Makes sense.
Okay, cool. We figured it out.
Yep. So, that's been us. I am Brad. That blue on the social things at Blue Lavender STM.
Mm-hmm. Brad on the social things at Bradcaster Gaming. And we on the social things at BnB Anime. So yeah, we're also on YouTube at BnB Anime as well. We have a website, www.bnbanime.com. I thought I put in an extra W, but I don't think I did. And on the website, we have friends of the show, behind the scenes, links to our IMDb pages, and links to your favorite listening platform if you are curious as to where we upload this. If not, you could just search us on any listening platform at BnB Anime. We're on your usuals, your Apple Podcasts, your Spotify's, your things like that, but we're on a couple of smaller ones as well. So if you have a preference to a smaller listening platform, you can give us a search and see if we're on there. We have, I did say we're on the socials, but specifically we have Twitter and Instagram. Instagram is where we post lots of fun memes and updates and all that kind of stuff. Twitter is, we do things on occasion. And
yeah, Twitter is basically me interacting with my Twitch friends, which is not what the podcast should be doing, but hey, we out here, we gaming.
We gaming. And yeah, hopefully, well, next week we will not have a film, but yeah, I have a little bit of a dip in my work schedule, so we will be able to get some more fun animes coming up. Happening. Brad will tell you about them.
Yeah, Mob Psycho next week, first season, not second season. We don't have that much time, but first season. So be prepared for 100% psychedelic psychic powers nonsense. It's going to be fun. It's going to be very pretty, also very simple. We're in for a good time. Mob Psycho is definitely one of those like cult fan favorites.
Yes.
But outside of that, thank you all so much for listening. Blue and I greatly appreciate it. And we'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.